Hey Nerdgenic, your resident superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, giving you yet another video talking about Spider-Man and Spider-Man No Way Home. But today I want to talk about the future of Spider-Man. You may be asking yourself, Aaron, we just got Spider-Man No Way Home. Can't we just sort of enjoy it for a minute, take a step back, relax, enjoy this beautiful movie that they put together? And absolutely, I 100% agree, we should. But once that moment's over, let's go ahead and talk about the future of Spider-Man because there's some exciting stuff on the horizon. And Spider-Man No Way Home did have a lot of great stuff in it, like the reintroduction of the previous two Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, called it by the way, and further building of Spider-Man within the MCU as his own standalone character, not on the crutches of Iron Man or any other characters, which I'm so stoked about. But I want to pose the question, where do we go from here? Well, we already got a few hints in No Way Home. During the film, when Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is talking to Max Dillon, aka Electro, he says that he was hoping that Spider-Man was black, and if there would be a black Spider-Man in the multiverse somewhere. This is an obvious nod to Miles Morales, to which he was also referred to back in Spider-Man Homecoming when Spider-Man got info from Aaron Davis, Miles Morales' uncle, who's the Prowler, and was played by Donald Glover, to which he referred to his nephew, aka Miles. So not only do we already know that Miles exists in this universe, but I would go as far as to predict that he'll be in the MCU by the end of the next set of Spider-Man movies, which is supposed to be a trilogy, but now they're sort of walking that back, so whatever that final arc may be. But I highly expect Miles to be a part of the MCU, powered or not, taken under Peter's wing or not, by the end of the next possible arc of Spider-Man movies. And speaking of next arc, assuming it's a trilogy, we've already gotten to see a lot of Spider-Man's villains in the MCU, but we are also nowhere near the end of the list. During the No Way Home mid-credit scene, we see Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock, who switched universes back in Venom, Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene, and seems to go back in this mid-credit scene, which is a tad disappointing, but a small bit of symbiote is left behind, very much teasing the symbiote Spider-Man and eventually Venom in the MCU. I personally hope that it isn't the Tom Hardy Venom, mainly because the second film was really bad, and I don't really feel that Tom Hardy fits the role of Eddie Brock all that well to begin with, but regardless, we can put two and two together and know that he's coming up against Tom Holland's Spider-Man soon. And to add to the roster of villains, Morbius will be coming out soon with Jared Leto playing the living vampire, and it was recently announced that Kraven the Hunter was in talks to be the villain of No Way Home, and he was recently cast by former MCU Quicksilver Aaron Taylor Johnson. But on top of that, there are plenty of other Spider-Man villains that we have not yet seen or have not seen in this universe, which has me even more excited because we just saw so many of Spider-Man's biggest bads, but they aren't even the MCU Spider-Man's villains, which has me even more excited because we just saw so many of Spider-Man's biggest bads, but they aren't this MCU Spider-Man's villains, which leaves the door open to have them reappear as different people, possibly with different origins and things like that, and still not be boring or feel repetitious. But outside of those, I would love to see Spider-Man do a team up with other heroes outside of the Avengers, namely Daredevil or even better, the Fantastic Four, which Spider-Man John Watts will be directing. So it makes perfect sense that if down the line that Spider-Man gets a chance to team up with them or even step in to fill a role on the Fantastic Four, if one were to be out for whatever reason, especially since Peter Parker and Johnny Storm are really good friends in the comics, and he fills in when Johnny Storm briefly died. Of course, Spider-Man has other team-ups and he'll likely continue to have team-ups down the line in the MCU, obviously with the Avengers, hopefully Sam Wilson's Captain America, and beyond. So the future is extremely bright for Spider-Man, and I genuinely feel like Spider-Man No Way Home gave a soft reboot that the character desperately needed in order for him to progress as a character and advance his story in the stories of the MCU. It also happens to open the door of possibility for new characters like Gwen Stacy, Eddie Brock, Felicia Hardy, and even more grounded Spider-Man stories like Spider-Man Blue, the death of Jean DeWolf, or even crazier ones that you might not expect like Kraven's Last Hunt or something else. But I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? What would you like to see happen next with Spider-Man in the Marvel Sony verse? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you miss out on any future videos like my upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home. Anything. I have so much to say about this movie and there's going to be a ton of content, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of it. But also be sure to follow us on Facebook as we have tons of announcements there, including various news information, blog articles that are going up on Nerdgenic.com all the time, or various other things like when we announce that we're about to go live right here on YouTube. But in the meantime, if you want even more video content from us, check out these videos on screen, like my recent Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler-free review, or check out this video right over here where I talk about the biggest questions I have for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Check out those videos, they were so much fun, and we have tons of other spider content and other superhero content right here on Nerdgenic. Check out all of it, it's all so great. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, we really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.